Ladies and gentlemen, we are back in Open Great League. And I say back, we're 1 week in. We have another week to go. So I wanted to try out a team that I saw on stream from the world champion of last year, 2023. Actually, yeah, 2023. It's Axon, and he was using a team on stream with Malamar and Shadow Feraligatr in the back with Diggersby as well. So the reason I wanted to go over this team is because Malamar is so hot right now. People are using it left and right. Honestly, when you have a Pokemon that has good coverage and a one-turn move, it has a lot of usually has a lot of competitive play. And what I mean by that is like how to say it, like skill expression, I think is the word that people use. So you can really do the best you can to get the most efficient moves in. So since I'm using a one-turn move, if my opponent's using a three-turn move for their fast attack, I can go 1-2 and throw, and that's perfect timing. Whereas if I had like a three-turn move versus a five-turn move, I can't just do one. That's technically not the most perfect timing. If I did three, that is perfect timing because I'd go a 9 versus their two five-turn moves, which would be 10. So I'm within just the one turn of getting the move off. So again, that's the team. We'll go over real quick just things I noticed that were tough for this team. So something like Jumpluff in the lead is very tough because they do have Fairy Wind, which is going to be super effective against Malamar. But not only that, they do outpace 2 Aerial Ace. So just doing any amount of damage, even though Aerial Ace is obviously not a very good move, very low damage, plus Jumpluff is a very tanky mon, so not going to be doing a ton of damage just with its moves in general. But if they do get to like the energy balls, they're definitely going to be doing a lot more damage to you. Also, some of them run acrobatics. That can be really bad as well. But the whole point is you also can't really like get them down either because you're not doing any super effective attacks. It's all going to be neutral, and they just purely outbulk you while doing a little bit of extra super effective damage against you. Another mon that's tough, and then obviously a Feraligatr in the back, which is water. Even though you do have Ice Beam, which is double super effective, if you do switch in, you're always going to be behind on energy. Another thing that I think is pretty tough, I think we saw only one time, it's not as prevalent as Jumpluff, is Wigglytuff. So Wigglytuff, obviously running Charm, is going to be super effective against Malamar, and also going to be double resistant to the Shadow Claws of Feraligatr. So if you get the Wigglytuff in the lead, it can be tough. But, you know, Shadow Feraligatr gets clobbered by Wigglytuff, but you can get a shield back, or you can win the zeros if they allow it. And if you have an energy lead, you can also even win the ones. But Diggersby is obviously very good against Wigglytuff. It just has that bulk to withstand Charm, so Charm not really going to be doing too much. You do have to watch out for the Icy Wind, which is super effective, but not too big of a move there because it doesn't have same type attack bonus, which is Stab. Yeah, without further ado, let's go ahead and get into it. Those are the two main ones that I really felt like I was worried about when I ran in this team. If you haven't, definitely hit the subscribe button, and let's get into this one. Alright, we're in with against the Diggersby here with our Malamar, and Superpower, obviously super effective, but not going to be able to one-shot. I decided to go for the Superpower here and then dip into my own bunny here so that we can go into a mirror match, because at the end of the day, he's so bulky that we're not really going to take any damage here from the Scorching Sands. I mean, yeah, we're taking a little bit, but really getting rid of that energy there is really good for us. They end up coming with Feraligatr, which has Hydro Cannon, which is super effective and a big damage move, which is going to do a lot to Diggersby. We do get the attack drop here, which is nice, which is actually going to probably let us survive one of these. So if they do want to KO us, they're going to have to throw again, which they would be able to throw on CMP, which is okay with us. We did get the shield advantage already, which is nice. And they're going to be at 0 energy coming into the next matchup. We do have energy still on Malamar. We can go for a little bit of energy on our own here, get a little bit of a lead. Could have gone for a little more, but I guess playing safe, trying not to let them switch out of this with a ton of HP left. Again, we do have the the shield advantage, and the energy advantage is comparable, to be honest, but we end up going for the shield there, and then we don't have to lower our attack and defense with the superpower, which lowers by 1 stage because we have a little bit of time to get a little excess energy here. It's tough too because they end up coming with Toxapex, and while we do have Psywave, which is super effective against the poison typing of the Toxapex, it is very bulky, so it's going to be a lot for us to get through, especially with low HP here. And then Feraligatr is obviously hard-walled by Toxapex, but they actually end up letting both of our moves through, which means that we're actually going to be able to shield and farm this all the way down. Because the Shadow Feraligatr just having high attack stat, its only neutral play against Toxapex is the fast move. So we're lucky that those two moves went through, but I guess they were hoping to save that shield for some sort of fast mon in the back, or fast getting move, a fast energy generation mon in the back. Doug Trio here, a Alolan Doug Trio from our opponent, and at first I had to look at the top CP just to see that it was 1500 and not a person that was tanking, because I have not seen this mon in a long time from someone who wasn't tanking, just because it's, I guess, like a meme looking one. It looks like Fabio with the curly blonde there. Anyways, I guess they just have a ton of damage because it has a very high attack stat with the Mud Slap. And, I mean, look how much damage it did to our Malamar and our Diggersby. Also, when the Alolan Ninetales comes in here, I really should have thrown Fire Punch. I guess I just haven't seen this mon too much since at all this season. This is actually the very first time of seeing it. Do get the nice shield off against the Dazzling Gleam there. So, yeah, you got to remember the typings, I guess, for mon that you haven't seen in a long time. Fire is super effective against ice. Should be throwing the fire move. And I would have gotten 2 off, which probably would have called for a shield there. This is obviously super effective. They'll probably just let it go. They end up having Decidueye here in the back, which is odd. I'm going to get the Hydro Cannon off, which technically they do resist, but it's a very high attack stat mon. So it's going to take a lot of damage, and they end up not shielding, and we're just going to farm it down here with the Malamar. All right, Toxapex lead. I mean, if we see it anywhere, this is where we want to see it. And we're actually doing a ton of... This guy must have a low level one because our attacks are doing way more to this one than it did to the last one. So that's kind of just... is your Mon XL'd or not? So... And you see there's a huge difference. So maybe their defense is lower on this one. They end up going in with a Dugong here. I'm probably going to throw back-to-back superpowers and then go into my own Feraligatr. While Feraligatr only has moves that Dugong resists, it's also kind of better for me to be in that matchup, considering that my Malamar technically is the best matchup, but I'm getting out of that matchup because I have double superpowered and my attack stat and defense stat are 2 times reduced at this point from the 2 superpowers. And they actually let me get off the first Hydro Cannon because they want to go on good timing, I guess. But, yeah, I'll take the extra damage without the debuff, and they actually end up going for the draw run anyways. I'm also 90% sure this is going to be an icy wind, so I'm just going to let this go as well because it probably is going to KO either way. Ends up being the draw run, so going to probably come back in with the Malamar, try to get this thing down and hope that Diggersby up shield is enough to take out everything in the back line. Obviously, it's very good against Toxapex, so we just have to have it be good against the next back line, which is Clodsire. Okay. I thought it was going to be Feraligatr, if I'm being honest. I was thinking that double water backline. Oh, I mean double water backline. Wait, triple water is what I was thinking? Okay, maybe not. Although there's no real like electric mon because Toxapex has that poison subtyping, so not really going to be threatened by grass too much. Which means electric would be good against the triple water there, but again, I'll just farm this all the way down, get 2 Scorching Sands. Even though this is super effective Brine, I mean, Brine is a terrible move, not even doing 25% there, so GG. Feraligatr lead. It is an awkward matchup. They do get to their move first. You can decide whether or not you want to shield. Obviously, you can survive. Probably you win the 1s, I would imagine, or the 0s rather. Probably don't win the 1s. I'd have to look into that. Anyways, we end up getting a shield here on Drapion, which is great for us because Diggersby is going to be very good against the Drapion here. While they do have Aqua Tail, which is super effective, technically they're going to tie us here on the Scorching Sands, so I don't want to go for a tie. I want to get as much energy as possible because a tie is the worst case scenario. It means I go into that next matchup without any extra energy, and I'd rather have a little bit of extra energy here. I'm halfway to another Scorching Sands, basically. For the Feraligatr, which technically we double resist, the Shadow Claws as well, so... Oh, wow. Okay, this is one of the real reasons why Diggersby is so good, is because it defeats the Feraligatr it's just so, rather, it's so good against the Feraligatr and Clodsire core, and those are the two best mon in Great League, Open Great League. So yeah, it's very good against those. Ends up being a Stone Edge here, which is not enough to KO us. I knew we'd make it to a move before they got to Earthquake, and I knew that we would live a Poison, Sludge Bomb rather, but I didn't know if we would live a Stone Edge or not, and they don't have any shields, and we do have shields. Okay, this is the Wigglytuff that we were super scared of here in the lead. Obviously, we switch out, and they don't care that much about our Feraligatr because, hey, they double resist the Shadow Claws, and they definitely live a Hydro Cannon. But they do not live 2, but they already shielded. So they're definitely going to go for the full farm down. The only thing that's a real saving grace for us here is that we're in the 50-second shot clock era. So we just wait the full timer out here, and we're almost back to switch. We're basically going to have to go all in Diggersby and hope that it's good in the back. Luckily, a lot of people running Feraligatr, a lot of people running Clodsire. We're hoping for that. In this Icy Wind, while it's not doing that much... Oh, Drifblim's interesting. Drifblim's a hard counter to Diggersby, so weird for them to hard switch there. I guess they just wanted us to switch into this, and I want this to be as low as possible going into that Wigglytuff matchup. I don't want them to get any farm if possible. Going to be able to get a foul play off, and then I'm going to throw Superpower right away. Going to be neutral against Wigglytuff because it is also normal typing. And they actually end up throwing another move here, and I'm like, great. Diggersby going to get a little bit more energy. Actually, probably going to get a lot because Quick Attack is double resisted by the Ghost typing here of the Drifblim. And I get a perfect farm down before they get to an Icy Wind, and then they end up quitting. So, all right, Clodsire lead. Malamar, great against Clodsire. It's very slow to get to its moves, so you can really charge up a lot. They end up coming in with their own Malamar. I'm going to go for a back-to-back Superpower, and then probably go into my own Feraligatr, considering they probably won't shield one of these. Technically, foul play is also neutral, so whatever way you want to go about this, I just went for the fastest energy, just going up to 2 superpowers and throwing back to back. And then they're so low here, I'm not going to get one shot by anything. I guess I could get one shot by like Hyper Beam, but they obviously didn't farm out to a Hyper Beam. But yeah, superpower not enough, foul play not enough. They end up coming back in with their Feraligatr. I can still do a little bit of damage with the Hydro Cannon, which is resisted. It does about half. But the bad thing is they are going to get a full farm down here against my Feraligatr. They are going to be pretty low, so I can come in Malamar, maybe shield and farm down. I'm going to let it go and get the farm down with Diggersby, which means I'm probably going to have to shield Diggersby because I don't... Yeah, I'm not going to be able to farm this down. But I do hope that this energy is going to come in handy. Clodsire, wow. Wow, every team is Clodsire and Feraligatr. What a... concept. I think someone said that in one of my most recent videos too, like Clodsire and Feraligatr in every video, in every team is crazy. But those two are just so good in Open Great League. I don't fault anyone for using it. You do see it's going to be close whether or not I can farm down the Feraligatr before it gets to 5 Shadow Claws for a Hydro Cannon. So I decide I'm going to save my shield for the Feraligatr just in case. And I know that 2 Earthquakes is not enough to KO, and we resist. At the least, we resist and double resist all of their all of their fast attacks. So I'm not scared at all of getting fast attack down. And now I have 2 Scorching Sands I'm going to throw back to back. One's going to get shielded and the other one's going to KO. Take a drink while the second one comes in. I wonder if y'all heard that. The water splashing back inside. All right, Ferrothorn. You guys know how much I love Ferrothorn. I think I mentioned that in the last video as well. We'll eventually play a Ferrothorn team. Maybe we'll take note about what this team is. But I think Ferrothorn's very good right now. I obviously wait for the Power Whip to come through. They obviously do resist the Psywave being a, I was going to say metal type, but by being a steel type. And then I come in with Diggersby because I'm like, okay, if I'm going to eat anything, I'll eat it on Diggersby. It's at the very least going to survive. It's the super effective Power Whip. They end up coming in with Cresselia, which for the last like 5-6 seasons has been the best Grassmon in the league. So 2 Grassmon down at this point because that's Grass Knot. So Feraligatr looking decent in the back, and Diggersby going to be basically losing charge move priority against everything. So charge attack priority, I guess they're calling it nowadays. Cap. So I've decided to go for the Fire Punch here. Oh no, I decided to let it go down so that I can get extra farm on the Feraligatr. It is going to be super effective Shadow Claws, which is nice. So I'm hoping to get it down before they can get to another Grass Knot, and it's a perfect 5, I believe. So that's very nice there. They come back in with the Feraligatr. I decide, Ferrothorn. I decide to shield. I can definitely get the farm down here. They go for the mirror shot, thinking they can maybe get to another move. But they have Dugong in the back. Now, Dugong does resist all these moves, so I do have to be careful about that. But I'm going to throw on good timing. They have a 3-turn move, fast attack. I have a 2-turn fast attack, so you want to throw on 1, 4, 7, 10, basically multiples of 3 starting up. Pluses of 3 starting at 1. Drill run, we will survive anyways, so I don't care if this is a drill run. And I still have this Malamar in the back and have the possibility for a double superpower. Now I decide not to debuff myself just to give myself a little bit of a chance. Plus, I know I have the shield. I can shield a move. And they end up going for the no shield there, just in case I don't throw the superpower, which I didn't, so good on them. Clodsire lead, again, this is very good for Malamar. You can definitely just shield and get a ton of energy in this matchup. Earthquake does a lot, but it won't KO because it's very bulky. I'm surprised I don't even shield, but yeah, I guess it's fine. I guess I'm going to go for the zeros here. I can definitely get... Can I actually get this down? I actually don't know. They actually end up shielding there, which is fine for us. I guess I can make a decision on whether or not I want to switch here, or if I want to just farm this all the way down. Honestly, I'll probably farm all the way down. Oh, I let it go to go for an energy advantage on what? Probably Feraligatr. Oh, I definitely don't remember this game. I guess I decide they have a little bit of energy advantage anyways, right? So they're going to get to this Earthquake, and I don't want to use the shield, so we're going to go all in here on Diggersby. But the odds of them being weak to Diggersby in the back is pretty bad, to be honest. Now, they do end up having Feraligatr, which, again, Feraligatr, Clodsire, every team. We do get the attack drop, but probably worth shielding here. I just want to maintain as much HP as I can here. Did they end up catching? No. Wait, did they catch? Sometimes you don't know with the lag. I do remember some of these games I was lagging so hard. It was very annoying. They end up having Shadow Machamp here, and while they technically outpace Feraligatr, they did switch in kind of late, and we get to the move that one-shots them, and then they come over with their own Feraligatr, and we can shield farm down if we want. Or we can let this go. I bet you we live anyways and get the farm down, and if we don't, Diggersby can farm down, and that's fine as well. No, Feraligatr gets his own damage. Okay, Metacham, weird. Dynamic Punch, technically neutral and good. They are using Psycho Cut, which is what I would use if I was to use a Metacham nowadays, with the nerf to counter. They end up coming with the Clodsire. I do a little bit of damage just because I want to try to make sure that the Scorching Sands one-shots. So, again, we can take another Earthquake here. I'm fine taking an Earthquake. Is this CMP? We definitely shouldn't be going to CMP. I literally hit my mic like 3 times. I am so sorry. They do come back in with the Metacham here. They're probably running Ice Punch, which is super effective, but not going to KO us, and I doubt they're farming down with Psycho Cut. Oh, yeah. A second one would KO us, I guess. So they might just go for another Icy Wind right away. They probably won't shield this. They know the Malamar. Weird. We lowered the attack. We would have lost CMP anyways here, so I like not going for the Fire Punch. Oh, we actually do end up living because of the attack drop. Yikes. I don't know what I'm going to come in with, to be honest. I probably should come in with Feraligatr, but it's fine with Malamar as well. I'm going to have to shield, and we can get a huge farm down here. I do have a lot of energy. I'm going to be able to throw 2 moves into whatever comes in. Does end up being a Feraligatr. Should definitely be throwing Foul Play. Could throw Superpower second if we want. Or we could throw another Foul Play. It's whatever. Technically, Foul Play has Stab, but I think Superpower is just a stronger move because it does have that debuff. But it does have that debuff that it gives you, so they try to tack on more damage for those type of moves that cause you basically harm later. And that's going to be GG. 40 wins. Another weird one, Hakamo O. I think Hakamo O is a good fighting type. I think a lot of people that are using fighting nowadays are using Shadow Machamp and Pangoro. But I think Hakamo O is interesting in its own right. I'm going to go for the double superpower here. If one of these lands is going to do a ton of damage, even the reduced one here. I do make sure that I get my 1-turn Psywave in. Just, again, trying to be as efficient as possible. They end up shielding, and I decide to come in with the Feraligatr. And I don't know why they let me throw first here, but, you know, great for me. I'm just going to let this go at the end of the day now. Malamar can farm this down if I need to. Plus, I don't think a Drill Run actually KOs here. So they're going to have to throw an Ice Punch. Or they'll let me possibly get a Hydro Cannon off against something here in the back. Ends up being the mirror match. The problem is this only gets it down to like 40%. So what do I want to come in with? Even if I shield, he's getting 2 off here, right? I'm forgetting what that last mon was already. I guess I probably shield this and farm down at this point now, because they don't get a third one off, which is nice. Oh yeah, it's Hakamo-O, right? Okay. This probably doesn't KO. Hakamo-O is actually very bulky. I think it's around level 40. But, end up farming it down, so that's nice. Hakamo-O has Dragon Tail, Dragon Claw. Dragon Tail is his fastest attack, and his 2 charge attacks are usually Brick Break and Dragon Claw. So, yeah. Azumarill lead. So, this sucks. Azumarill is pretty good against our whole team. I'm going to have to shield it. I really wish what I did is just straight up switch to Feraligatr. But I ended up going for a huge amount of energy here, and then I switch into Feraligatr. They end up staying in, so now I'm just trying to elongate the clock. And I technically can live 1 play rough. The question is, do I want to let it go, or do I want to go down to 2 shields? So I decided to let it go and see if they stay in. If they do stay in, they don't. Okay. Dunsparce, this sucks. It's going to be close whether they can farm me down before I get to this next move or not. I guess we are going to get to it because we're 2 away, which means we're only going to take 1. What's it called? Rollout buff, so doing a lot more damage this season. And then I decided to come in with Diggersby just because it can eat a lot of this damage. You got to remember this bunny is so bulky that when it's taking moves from these other bulky mon, it's not really taking a lot unless it's super effective. So these neutral moves don't do anything. I come back to the thing I have a ton of energy on. If they do come in with the Azumarill, they've thrown 2 moves, so I have a lot of chance to get more energy here. So I'm going to go for a ton of energy and then throw the Foul Play. It is low enough. It's going to be in Foul Play range. Obviously, the Side Wave's still doing a lot of damage, especially against this bulky type. And then they end up having Wigglytuff here in the back. So ABA Fairy, but they're different. Can I get to another one? I probably should have done that a little differently. Yeah, I could have gone to 2 superpowers if I played a little better, played for more efficient. Not even a little better. I could have played a lot better there. But at the end of the day, probably not going to matter too much. I guess I was all in on this Diggersby. This is going to be the Icy Wind. I guess they could have gone for double Swift, but it also probably wouldn't have been enough. All right, Marowak. So you can go for 2 moves here, and you definitely live. You definitely win the zeros, as long as nothing crazy happens. So I decided to go for the double superpower here. They do end up shielding, so I'm going to go for the second superpower. It's going to basically KO this Malamar, and then I can come for a farm down on either of these mon in the back, to be honest. Feraligatr are going to do better with the energy, but going to have to shield, whereas Diggersby is going to be able to eat a lot of that energy and possibly not do as much damage with its fast attacks. I am going to switch to Diggersby just to eat a lot of this Dunsparce damage. I ended up getting a Hydro Cannon off here, so a lot of damage thrown back at him in a pretty bad, semi-bad matchup. So again, you can eat a lot of these moves. I can even eat 3 of these if I want to just go up a ton of energy, which is probably what I want to do. I'll play as efficient as possible, so while they didn't throw a third move here and I could go up to 100 energy, I'm going to just save a little bit of HP here and throw on 4, which again, against a 3-turn move from a 2-turn move, 4 is a good number there. Technically, you would survive a Bone Club, but they only have 1 move, and it's a very good thing I shielded because they do have a Wigglytuff. Remember when I said Wigglytuff not going to be used that much? For some reason, I've seen 3 at this point. Let me turn my phone off here. Or on D&D, rather. And then once we get the shield, we can come in with Feraligatr, and Hydro Cannon's enough to do half anyways, so GG. Oh, right. Marowak was still alive. Fast attack that down. Walrein. We've seen some weird ones today. Walrein and Metacham. Are we back like 5 seasons? Maybe it's 4 seasons? Man, it's been so long. Maybe 4 or 5 seasons. I actually, it might be like 4 to 7 seasons back for the Walrein Metacham meta. Maybe we'll see a Noctowl. Maybe we'll see... Oh, Trevenant's still fine nowadays. You don't see Noctowl. I haven't seen Noctowl at all this season. I did see some last season. It's still bulky, so it does technically do fine into some things as long as the meta is not so anti-it, which, to be fair, kind of is with Clodsire. Dugong's still good, but Clodsire's the number 1 mon, right? But you still see some flyers. The problem is Sky Attack's been nerfed, and it's pretty terrible. This, not the greatest switch in of my life, to be honest. Should probably be switching into Diggersby here because we're going to be stuck and it can actually survive some of these moves. Plus, it's going to be able to get to the Thunder Punches, obviously, at the same rate and win CMP. Plus, we swapped in late. So, I do end up getting to this move, which is nice. But I believe they still have a shield. Oh, no, they don't have a shield. So now we're all in on whatever this matchup is. And it's Kanto Marowak. I do have to let them to throw first. I could get the attack lowering, and I don't think... Oh, do I outpace? I feel like I do outpace for some reason. Oh, a Fire Punch going to KO, so that's fine. Probably should never throw on 3 because it's like, oh yeah, I'm getting there 1 turn earlier, or 2 turns earlier, but technically if they CMP'd, it wouldn't have mattered anyways, right? They win CMPs, so probably should never throw on 3 like I did there, but... Sometimes when you're in the moment, you do whatever, so... Plus, we ended up outpacing anyways. Although that's... Yeah. Just, you gotta think about the things you're doing wrong and change them. Don't try to trick yourself into saying we won anyways, things like that. But anyways, yeah, again, I saw It's Accent playing this team on stream. It did really well with me. I think I actually gained somewhere around... I want to say 200 points. Again, I'm pretty low. I think I showed you in the last video. I just got my rating because basically missing a week and a half for COVID and work and all that. So I think I started 2230 something, and now I'm like 2430. So yeah, 200 points with this team basically, and yeah, it's great. Again, very high skill cap team with Malamar. You really need to get in all the efficient energy you can. And if you don't, you might have some mixed results. Definitely don't let any charge moves through, or fast moves through, but you want to go right up to the edge of them getting to the end of their fast move animation and then throwing. Anyways, thank you for watching. If you liked the video, hit the thumbs up, and if you haven't, definitely hit the subscribe button. And we'll be playing some more Open Great Leagues, so we'll see you in the next one. Hey, thank you for watching the video, and if you want to continue to support me, definitely click that subscribe button. You'll see any content coming out, and if you want another video on this same league for some more tips and tricks to other teams, check that video out right there, and I'll see you in the next one.